Okay, everybody, it's review time. Just finished watching the show about a half hour ago. So let's get into the review. I'm laying down on this one because I had some stuff to do today and I'm a little tired, but well, I'll roll with it and do the review. So, Hannah. Starts out with Hannah. She runs outside for help. She goes to another door and is, like knocking on the door for help and all that. And while while she's outside, Malik staggers out of the house and he goes and gets into the van where Candace and RK are. And they drive off. And Derek is working at another house and he's like, wait, I hear, and he hears Hannah screaming. So he goes to check things out and he finds Hannah outside and she's obviously very upset. And he goes in and looks in the house to see what's up, and he looks all around and the house is empty. Now let's talk about Jeffrey. So over at the hospital, Jeffrey's at the nurse's station. He's talking to the nurse, and the nurse, introduces himself and all that. And I'm like, okay. So it looks like this is somebody else who's going to like Jeffrey, and which also means yet another target for Justin. So what happens next is while Jeffrey and the nurse are talking, we see the door to David's room. We see it like open a little bit, and Jeffrey's like, "Did somebody go in my dad's room?" And so he goes into the room, and of course he finds Veronica there, and he's telling her, "Get out! You need to get your ass out!" All of that, and he says, "I'm not playing with you," and she's like, "The only thing you like playing with is penises," and I'm like, "Oh, you are doing too much, Veronica." That was just like, come on now, did you really need to say that? You're just being vulgar now. You're saying stuff like that. So Jeffrey wants to call security, and she's acting like she belongs there. "Oh, this is my husband of so many years. I belong here. I want to see if he's all right." And Jeffrey is like, he's telling her, "You need to go. You need to go." And she's like, "What are you going to do? Are you going to stab me again? If you do it, you'll end up laid up in here too." And she is at, she's tried to pretend like she was actually concerned about David, but she goes into her, into her real self and starts talking about how he left her for some whore, and he didn't leave her for Erica. Us viewers know how the story played out. So she's giving herself away pretty much. She's like, "I am praying that she is burning in hell." Veronica is just over the top crazy now. No sense left at all, no sanity left at all, nothing but crazy left. And she tells Jeffrey that he's such a disappointment to her, and she still won't leave, even though if Jeffrey wants her to leave. So she really goes nuts, and she starts hitting David and yelling at him, "Get up, get up, get up!" And Jeffrey, Jeffrey does not know what to do, so he just takes the defibrillator. God, I can never get that word out. Defibrillator. I'm sorry, that one just is trouble. I have trouble pronouncing that one, but he takes that off of the wall, and he shocks Veronica with it, and she falls to the ground, to the floor. And that's the only way he could stop her, was with that device. So So after that, we see Benny and Mitch. Well, actually, Mitch calls Benny on the phone and he tells him, you know what, just stay out of sight. Get a room at the hotel or stay in public or just, but don't go home. Make sure you're. He's telling him because the hit can't really be can't be called off, so it's already out there, and that's just the way it goes. So Benny, he doesn't. He's really acting like he doesn't know why they are after him. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, that he seems to have forgotten that that he did walk in on that. That Vinny, he didn't walk in on Vinny after he had been stabbed, so he should know that something might be going down because of that, because they assumed that Vinny was at fault for that. And so he's like, is that serious? I'm like, duh. And so Mitch tries to, reason with the family, and because they still want the money from the interest. The one guy's like, so even if he didn't stab Vinny, okay, so maybe we should just leave the hit out. Because clearly Benny did not have the money to pay the interest. So and the guy's like talking to Mitch, he's black, to asking him, Benny's black, and they're just so racist. And Mitch is still trying to, really take up for Benny. And Mitch could have left this part of it alone, because he told him, you don't want to take this money from my family. I don't even take money from my family. I try to do my own thing and all of that. But Benny would not listen. But he's still trying to help Benny out. And he's just said, well, okay, I'll go talk to Mama Rose. And that was that part. So let's get back to crazy Veronica. She's laid out in the hospital room. She's laid out in this hospital room, and she's like, "What happened?" And the doctor and the nurse are like trying to, they don't know what happened. They don't know that she was shocked with the machine. And she said, "My son shocked me. He did it. Call the police. I want you to call the police." And the doctor and the nurse are like, okay. They're just like really confused because it's not making any sense. And obviously it wouldn't make sense to somebody who does not know the Harrington family. And and Veronica, once again, she's acting like she did nothing. Jeffrey shocked her because she was slapping David, and it just, she could have made his injuries worse. And nobody was supposed to be touching him anyway because they didn't want him to get an infection. And let's see, what is up next? Okay. So, back in the room with Jeffrey and David, David heard everything. He heard everything, and he's like, "That's your mother. You could have killed her." And Jeffrey's like, "I don't care." Jeffrey has just nothing left for his mother. Nothing. And David's like, "Well, I don't want you to be like her. I don't want you to be like her." But Jeffrey doesn't care, and to a certain extent, Jeffrey is like Veronica because of the he's like Veronica in the way that the way he treats people. He can treat people poorly, so he's like her in that way, and he's like his father in the way that he is, he's still going to be involved with somebody who treats him badly and just is not good for him. Same way, like, that David was with Veronica, even though she did terrible things. Okay, so, the nurse comes in, gives him the pain medication, gives David the pain medication and all of that. And Jeffrey admits to shocking Veronica, and he's like, I don't care. And the nurse is like, well, if you say that, I'm going to have to call the police, and I don't. And he doesn't really want to do that because he likes Jeffrey. And I'm like, Jeffrey's not worth the trouble. Leave him alone. He's not worth messing with. Jeffrey is trouble himself. And so that was that. So let's okay, so Derek back at Hannah's house, he calls Catherine, fills her in on everything that happened, and so Jim is in the bed with Catherine. And I'm like, when this scene first opened up, I'm like, so she's really gonna sleep in the bed with Jim, and she can't stand him. And so when she gets off the phone with with Derek, Jim's all like, what was that? And she's like, what the hell are you doing in my bed? And I'm trying to get some sleep. She says there are like 5 or 6 other bedrooms in this house. I think he just wanted to annoy Catherine by getting in the bed with her. He knew that would annoy her, and I think he was just trying to push her buttons. Now, after that, Jeffrey Jeffrey gives Jim a call, and he wants Jim to get David a guard, and because he doesn't have any money, and Jim says, well, call the FBI, and Jeffrey says, well, I already did. They said they can't do that. So Jim ends up handling. He calls somebody and like, okay, I know it's late. I need you to do. You know the drill, how that all works with Jim. He makes something happen, and that's that. So Justin, he gets to, and I think that, this was Hannah's house, and one of the Malone guy, he's standing outside, just a very tall, big person, and he is and it was crazy because this guy dwarfed Justin. And it was kind of crazy because it's kind of hard to see Justin really be dwarfed, but he dwarfed Justin. So Justin arrives on the scene, and the officer's like, so you were the only one in the area, and Justin's like, he kind of just shrugs it off. And so this Malone guy, he had been standing outside the house, and he wouldn't show any ID or tell why he was there. And Justin gets him in his face and says, hey, let me see some ID. The guy has nerve enough to ball up his fist and punch Justin to the ground. And then after that, he gets, the guy gets down he puts his hands up and gets down on his knees. I guess like, oh, okay, well, don't shoot me. And I'm like, but you just punched the cop in the face, and then you surrender. And I'm like, that made no sense to me. I mean, you're worried about getting shot, but you're willing to punch a cop in the face. And anyway, so Justin, after he got punched, he punched the guy back, and he's like, okay, I'm not hurt. I'm not. He was so unfazed. So Candace and RK, she has some money, and it didn't dawn on me right away that the stack of money that Candace had was the money from the Malones that Benny had. So she's gonna get Benny in some more trouble, because at first I thought that Malik may have gotten a signature or something from Hannah to get that money out of the account, but no, what he stole was Benny's Malone money. So anyway, so Candace Candace, uh, I guess she like pulled, I think it was something off of her stockings, and so she lights the van on fire. And Malik is inside. I guess he was dead from a wound or whatever, but he's inside. Just lit the whole thing on fire. You know, Candace is going with this big old stack of money, and in our case, like, can I have some? And she's like, no. Candace always has people helping her with stuff, and then she doesn't want to give them a cut. And it's illegal stuff at that she has them doing, and she don't want to give them a cut. So they end up walking down the road, and she's saying, I want to get away, I want to get away, and they're having this conversation, and she's going to leave RK her escort operation. You know, he's going to take it over, you know, running escorts out of the hotel, but he's not going to get any sort of, you know, like payment for him assisting Candace in doing this illegal stuff. And so she wants to get away, and she's trying to get away with that Malone money from Benny. So not only does Benny not have the interest, he doesn't have the money at all to even give back and say, hey, I gave the money back, maybe I can slide on the interest, which they weren't letting him slide on the interest anyway. But he's even in a deeper hole because he has to get back, you know, he has to give back a large amount of money that he does not have. So back in Hannah's, the police are questioning her about the attack, and she says, well, she can't even, all she can say is like he was wearing all black and he had on a mask. I couldn't see anything. He said he was looking for my daughter, and that's all that, and that was all with the police. They just said, okay, we'll be back and do some more investigating in the morning. And the officer asked her, are you staying here tonight? Yeah, and she said, yeah. So, so the officer leaves, and Hannah is just like, she's trying to pull herself together. She's still shaking up, and she says, I have not, this is the second time that I've been this scared in my life. And so Derek, like, he's like, okay, well, what happened? And she says, well, I was attacked when I was 18 and I was raped. And so Derek just goes completely, you know, emotional. He starts crying and you know, I'm not going to say he probably didn't feel bad for Hannah, but I think he was trying to get her to, I don't know, just, you know what Boys in the Hood, when, after Trey had been, that police officer had messed with him. You know how he went over to Brandy's house and he did all that crying and punching the air and being all emotional, and then she gave in and, you know, gave him what he had been asking for. That's what Derek was trying to do. He was trying to get Hannah to be intimate. I think that's what he was trying. I think that's what he was trying to do. And he's being just very sympathetic and upstanding. I want to be here for you. You shouldn't have to go through this by yourself. And all of that. And she starts talking about Candace, you know, I can't, she's going to get Benny and I killed. I can't even pray for her anymore. I've tried to pray for her and all of that. And so Derek says he wants to pray for Candace. Let's pray for her. So he's praying and he just breaks down and is crying, and Hannah ends up just like taking his head and is like patting it, and she was the one that was attacked in her home, and she's having to comfort him. She's looking a little bit more, you know, pulled together than he is emotionally, and she's like, and it's like, okay, I'm the one that got attacked, and I'm comforting you right now. I'm doing this right now. Okay. So, back at the jail, Justin brings the Malone helper into Wyatt's cell. And but Wyatt's like, please, I need this stuff. You said you would bring it. Well, now that he has a cellmate, Justin can't bring it. And Wyatt just continues to beg and beg and beg and beg. And it's so pathetic. Wait. I don't know. Wyatt is a mess, and with that Malone guy in there, who knows what's going to happen to him. Wyatt may finally bite the dust, and the Pryors will have no living children at all left. So we'll see what happens with that. So back at Hannah's house, Derek is bringing her tea and offers to call Benny, and he's being such a stand-up guy and so helpful. And I'm like, come on, Derek, we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to work your way into Hannah's bedroom, and just if you're nice enough, maybe you should say, oh, right, let's do this. Okay, but he is doing right by Hannah, which is good because she needs somebody. And so Catherine, she comes over and she's like, of course I was gonna come over. I want to see if you're all right. And Hannah's like, well, yeah, the guy busted out the window. I'm gonna pay for it. And I'm like, come on, Hannah, why are you trying to pay for the window? You know that Catherine would cover it. It wasn't even your fault, Hannah, that the window got broken. So, okay, last scene. Benny. He's still at the hotel when Mitch calls, and Mitch says, you know what, you just hang tight and I'm gonna come get you. Benny calls Candace, and she's still walking down this road with RK, and she's making up all these lame, oh, I can't, I'm gonna be late, I can't come there right now, I'm outside, I'll meet you at Mom's house in the morning to discuss this. So that's what they agree on, is to meet up at Hannah's house in the morning. So after that, Derek gives Benny a call. He calls from Hannah's phone, and Benny, when he hears Derek's voice, he's like, who the hell is this? Why do you have her phone? Just getting real irate and indignant. And so Derek's staying calm. He's like, okay, there was a break-in. She's calmed down now, but I just called because she still needs some time to kind of get calm. And so Benny, he out of there like a lightning bolt. The Malones, who were sitting in the hotel, and he had told Mitch this, they were sitting in the hotel watching him. They follow him, or they're helpers. I think they're helpers, not actual Malones. They follow him out and they jump him in the parking lot. But he manages to take one of them down, give one of them a real fight, and after that the other one pulls out a gun, and that's how it ends, with Benny trying to dodge bullets. Okay, that's not funny, but it's just when he just the way he leaped when he was trying to get away from the bullets. That scene shouldn't have been funny to me, but it was just funny to me. Okay, so that was the episode. In the preview, one of the things we see is Candace warning RK about Veronica, and she warns him stay away from Veronica, and then they show him over at Veronica's house, and she's like, what were you doing in that room with my son? I know everything. And I'm saying, RK, you're really asking to die. You're signing your own death warrant. You're knocking on death's door desperately. You're trying to buy a farm. There's a lot of ways to say this, but RK is asking for a whole world of hurt. So that was the review. As always, thank you for watching. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.